Hello and welcome back to my kitchen. I'm Anissa and today we're making a roasted carrot and red pepper soup. This is a really easy recipe to throw together and it takes next to no time at all with very little hands-on work. And let's just get started. So I've washed and peeled 1 kilogram of carrots and I'm going to cut them diagonally. We want that diagonal cut so we can get as much browning on these carrots as possible when they're being roasted. And we want them around 1 centimetre thick to 1.5 centimetres pieces. Add your carrots to a large roasting dish. And next we're going to chop our bell peppers. I'm keeping my bell peppers in relatively large pieces just so it doesn't brown too fast. The bell peppers will cook faster than your carrot. And we're going to add this to our roasting dish as well, keeping those pieces large. And finally, 2 small onions. Again, these are just going to get a very rough chop. Just quarter those and add it to your dish. Now we're going to season our vegetables with some salt and pepper. We want to season them quite generously whilst it's roasting. If you like your soups with a little kick, you can also take the opportunity to add a couple of fresh chilies in with your vegetables and a very generous seasoning of olive oil so these vegetables can roast nicely. And then we're going to mix all these together. Coat all those vegetables in that oil. And then we're going to roast these in a 200°C oven until you're getting a really good colour on these vegetables. You want your carrots to be completely soft. I like to roast it up until you start getting just a slight char on all of your vegetables. That's really what's going to help build the flavour in your soup. And believe me, it makes a huge difference. You want to remove your vegetables from the oven when they've got a really nice caramelised edge to them. I like them to take on a tiny bit of char on some of the vegetables. It gives it a lovely flavour and we're going to prepare the next step. On a medium-low heat, we're going to add a tiny bit of olive oil to a pan, 2 cloves of garlic, half a teaspoon of ground coriander powder, and 1/4 teaspoon of cumin powder. And we're going to let that fry out for a few moments up until you can smell those spices smelling really nice and fragrant. My spices are starting to smell really nice and fragrant, so I'm going to add my roasted vegetables to the pot. I'm using a slotted spatula just to help drain any of that olive oil that's still in the pan. Give that a good stir to coat your roasted vegetables in those spices. And then we're going to add 1 litre of vegetable stock. If you don't have vegetable stock, just water works fine as well. And now we're going to bring our soup to a boil. Once it has reached a boil, reduce it to a very low simmer and just let your roasted vegetables cook into this soup for around 15 minutes. Just so all those flavours can really mingle together. My soup has been simmering for 15 minutes. I'm now going to let it cool a little bit before I blend. Now I'm going to blend my soup. I'm just doing half at a time. I let my soup cool first before blending it, just because it's a bit safer. It stops the cap of my blender lid popping off and soups exploding everywhere. If you want to blend it whilst it's still warm, be sure not to fill your blender too full, and maybe just what I tend to do is take the lid, plastic lid off my blender and use a dish towel to cover the top instead, just so steam is able to escape. And you'll end up with this really beautiful creamy soup with not an ounce of cream, which is super flavourful, really healthy and just lovely to have on a cold day with a bit of bread. I've just heated my soup up again. Make sure you give it a final taste for seasonings. If it needs extra salt or pepper, it shouldn't do. And we're just going to ladle our hot roasted carrot and red pepper soup into our dish. I like to serve mine with some garlic bread. Oh, that looks and smells really, really delicious. And for some garnish, I like to add a little fresh parsley, just to give it that pop of freshness as you're eating it, and a little sprinkle of some toasted pumpkin seeds. I find this really, really just a lovely hearty soup. You can also drizzle it with a little fresh cream if that's what you like, but I'm quite happy with this soup. If you enjoyed the recipe, please do leave a like, subscribe and click that notification bell. And I'll hopefully upload more again soon. Please do give me any suggestions in the comments for future videos. Thank you for watching.